estate guy.
Rich versus poor. Now, we know the economy rigged, but let's just see what others think. What do they classify as rich? Well, let's see that too.
I can make millions of dollars and use the exact same tax loopholes that a Donald Trump would use and pay effectively no tax. And does that make me a bad guy, or did I just study the tax code?
It makes you
Oh,
a bad guy, yeah.
damn, it makes you a bad guy. Damn, that's tough.
Being poor is a choice.
Wait, do they tell you which side
Choice.
is which?
Step forward
Rich and then poor.
if you agree. Being poor is a choice.
Now, if it was all your life, it's starting to be a choice.
I do not want to be disingenuous to ignore systemic issues that we all experience, but
definitely hard.
I feel like it's 2021 and there's a lot of free resources. I mean, Facebook has a lot of free courses. I think that poor is also a mindset.
I agree. Originally, when I came out here, I started straight at the homeless shelter. I had to flee from domestic violence from my family. Most people in general don't choose to be poor, but since I've been here, specifically in LA, a lot of people outside, they don't want to come into the shelter because they'd rather be in the tents.
I mean, I grew up poor,
Okay.
so
Now, LA is a different story. Now, LA is just too expensive, so you definitely choose that too expensive life out there.
I have been on both sides of the coin,
Okay.
and I can reflect and look back on some of the lifestyle choices that I was making, some of the people that I was hanging around. So I don't think that people can initially control if they're born into poverty,
Right.
but I think that there is a certain level of control that comes along with being able to have that determination and that resilience. Yeah.
Can I have the disagreeer step forward?
We need to realize that these people are on the street not because of their own choosing, but because of the system that we live in perpetuates these things.
If I could speak to that, I come from a family that once relied on welfare and food stamps, and I have been blessed enough to make millions of dollars in real estate. But had I bought real estate from 2005 to 2008, I'd probably be bankrupt today. I just bought it at the right time.
People wish to be rich, they don't want to be rich. The difference is, do you take action?
Literally.
That being said, I agree with a lot of you.
There we go. Now we hear some wisdom in our ear. Are you taking action? Because that's what's keeping you poor. It's the inaction that's keeping you poor. You gotta take action. You gotta if that's what you want.
The points you're making about people not really having the resources or the opportunity to have any kind of action plan.
Some people don't even want to be rich. Like, I don't want to be rich. But I also don't want to be poor. I'm happy in the middle. And I would want to live in a society where they could perpetuate people to live themselves out of poverty through programs and just be in the middle.
Billionaires should not exist.
Damn, hold on. Now, the only reason that I would say billionaires shouldn't exist would be because it's billions of homeless people out there. So that would be the only reason I would say billionaires shouldn't exist. But it's too much money in the world for it not to even be billionaires. Like, it's gonna be somebody gonna be a billionaire because it's too much money in the world. So I don't know.
I don't see how anyone could ever spend $1 billion. It's not a necessity to have that
It's
much
definitely
money.
not.
And I feel like there is a certain cap in which, like, you can completely survive and thrive with this amount of money. And then if you surpass that, you're just hoarding.
And then we've seen what people with billions of dollars are doing with their money. They're going to space for fun. Like,
Right.
clearly, if we tax those people,
That is true. That them niggas Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, y'all niggas is crazy. Them niggas is going motherfucking space for fun. But the only way I could agree is if they said also that, because of homeless people, because we can't sit here and say all the work they done shouldn't get money. It should be capped. The work they put in wasn't capped off, so why should? So I would not. That's the only reason I disagree. In a sense, it's only because niggas working too hard to just. They should be at a cap, and the work that you putting in ain't gonna have a cap. I'm not gonna lie.
Properly, get their wealth and distribute it to people who need it. That'd be a much better use than going to space for fun.
Okay, literally. But maybe they not in tune or something. But Elon Musk literally told them that. Tell him how to cure world hunger, and he will. Or he got $1 billion to cure world hunger type shit. That's why it goes back to the government. Ain't got nothing to do with him. It's people that in that government they need the people to stay dependent on them, stay in debt, stay needing welfare, government assistance, all that shit.
Personally, I don't think there's an issue with billionaires existing. The issue for me is that they need to be held accountable the same way poor people do. And I'm talking about the justice system.
When you look at a lot of billionaires who have gotten that way because of the just incredible amount of value they've given to society, I won't even talk about a huge, crazy billionaire. I'll talk about Jay-Z, who's a billionaire. He made amazing music. That's how he became a billionaire. And so I don't think it's the government's job to interject and say, okay, you have too much, we need to give it away. I mean, it would also never happen in any other arena. No one's gonna go, hey, Simone Biles, you have too many gold medals. We're gonna take them from you and we're gonna give them to the other people who weren't as talented as you.
I completely agree.
I completely disagree. I feel like that is the government's job. And Jay-Z, like you said, Jay-Z made his money from music. That's his labor. He's a musician. He's selling his talent. But then when he invested in the alcohol, then he's using other people who are harvesting the wheat, the agave. They're breaking their back. They're using their labor.
So do you think that he should invest in those people? Should they just say, the hell with your dreams, I'm not gonna invest in you?
I'm saying.
What about the jobs?
What do you mean?
They're having jobs.
Yeah, but how much are they getting paid for their jobs? Or those jobs in the third world where they're getting paid pennies, and then Jay-Z makes millions off their labor.
How much do you pay your employees?
You think harvesting isn't going to exist if Jay-Z doesn't invest?
If I may interject, I pay my employees like incredibly well, and I let them choose their own hours. Someone who works for me is a single mother. I pay her $50 an hour. And I think that people that are providing jobs and opportunities, you can hate on them all you want, but at the end of the day, like, nobody would work that job if it wasn't in some way, shape, or form worth it.
People who make $1 billion get a fraction of the value they create. Everybody here who
I think this guy right here, he got his feelings a little too involved. I think he gotta step back, take his feelings out of it, and look at what's on the outside going on.
as a business understands that. Even Jay-Z only gets 15 cents a record he sells. Okay?
Yes, that's because he got exploited by the record label who's using his label to make money.
You keep using this word exploiting like you understand the record business, of which I am in, okay? Record labels back hundreds of artists. Do you know how many go busto? Yeah. Okay? They're taking risk in an artist by the tapes, paying the engineers, marketing, etc. They're exploiting them. They're taking on a bet. And they can't just give everybody 50-50. They'll go bankrupt. You don't understand the record business, and you're just yelling out these words exploiting, like you know what you're talking about, but you don't.
That's why
they're not exploiting.
That's why there's one Jay-Z and not millions
Exactly.
of them.
I actually want to ask a question of how you define exploited and why you're saying that.
I'm using exploited in the Marxian term where your labor creates value and then your employer takes that value and distributes it unevenly to themselves and then leaves the rest for the workers. That's exploitation. My name is David. I work for Disney in the entertainment character department, and I make around $33,000 a year.
How's your experience been working at Disneyland?
So you didn't decide to want to do nothing else? You want to stay working at Disney? I mean, hey.
Experience working at Disneyland is very mixed. The workers themselves, like my coworkers, are amazing people. Unfortunately, the company is not so great. They don't pay us that much. They have enough money to pay us more. I think they should just pay us more, but I don't think they're gonna do that. That's why I'm advocating for a union to bargain in our favor.
My name is Ginny, and I run a software design agency. And this year I'm going to be taking home about $400,000. When I started my business, that was like all consuming for me. Everything I did in my life was for business. And so I think my partner felt a lot of neglect. And so a lot of our arguments, a lot of the times that we had issues were because of my absence.
The economy is rigged.
The economy is rigged.
If you're born in a...
But I don't agree. I probably don't agree to the same as what they feel how it's rigged. But let's see.
rich family, you have more opportunities. And as someone who is poor, living paycheck to paycheck, you're stuck having to apply to jobs and settle for things that you don't like instead of being able to follow your passions.
I agree and disagree. I agree that it's rigged to incentivize certain areas and behaviors, like we have millions and millions of farm subsidies, so it supports agribusiness. It may support one area like real estate or capital investment over labor, but I don't think it's generally rigged to basically keep the rich guy rich and the poor guy poor. That part I'll disagree. But there are certain policies like the reinvestment in productive people's hands for building real estate. I would say that's a good thing, right?
When you say productive people, like, do you just mean people with money?
No, I mean people that actually take that money, organize people, put it to work, and create value. That's what I mean by productive people.
But who creates the value? It's the workers who create the value.
Listen, there's people who take risk and they risk their money. That's creating value. What you discount is the person willing to risk their savings, okay, and provide capital for that venture.
Hey, Mir. We up here, YouTube vid, rich versus poor.
And to be paid last. So if it goes busto, the worker still gets paid. The investor doesn't.
The economy is still rigged, though. I get what he's saying, but the rich definitely stay rich and the poor definitely stay poor. But it's because we're not given the same opportunities. That's all it be. That's all it be. It's a little harder, but it's gonna be hard either way. It's hard poor, hard rich. I mean, ain't no different.
If it goes well, the worker gets paid and the investor makes money. You discount the role of capital and savings in any type of venture. Like my mom didn't want to be rich. She wanted to be a school teacher and work and do that and live in the middle ground, and that's fine. But there are people like me who want to take a lot of risk and get a lot of reward. And we put that capital to work. And you should respect that.
That's damn near what I was saying. That's damn near what I was saying earlier. What he just said, basically.
I run a hedge fund. I do investments and other things. I manage my own money. How much I make annually? Sometimes I lose money, but I'd say on average over 10 million a year. I took care of my dad in the last years of his life. He died broke. I did not inherit my money. I made it myself. I really don't care about the money. Money is a tool for me to have the experiences that I want to have out of life. And there are many
I'm telling you, I said it earlier. He knows some knowledge. He telling us. He just told us right there. Money is a tool. That's what I be saying. It is a tool. We just use the tool as stuff for experiences. But some people use money and put they all into money.
That's what I want to have.
You have to have a certain level of awareness and knowledge to know the rules of the game. And I think that there are barriers put in place to kind of prevent people from knowing the rules, but I think that it's out there and you can have access to it, and it's, I think that knowing the rules is different.
I know the rules and I think they're disgusting. That's why I want to change them.
Why don't you play the game then? I mean, you can
I think they're disgusting. Why would I want to play the game?
As a real estate guy, I can make millions of dollars and use the exact same tax loopholes that a Donald Trump would use and pay effectively no.
But see, why wouldn't you want to play the game? Why would you want to sit there and complain knowing you know the game? Why would you want to just complain about how it's messed up when you can do more with the tool and try and change it? Because, I mean, hey, teach us on.
A tax. And does that make me a bad guy, or did I just study the tax code?
It makes you a bad guy, yeah.
You think so?
If you do that, yeah.
I'm following the law to a T.
The law is wrong, yeah.
Why is it wrong? It's the law.
I'm not.
But see, that's another thing that everybody needs to realize. What you might think is okay or not okay, gonna be different for somebody else, and that's why he would rather just stay, He shouldn't complain about it though. He should be happy. I'm not even gonna lie. If you know all about it and you know how you can benefit from it, you might as well be happy that you ain't doing it and shit. Shouldn't be complaining.
You think that just because it's law, it's always right?
No, certainly not.
No,
Certainly not.
I'm not saying
but
that.
that's my point.
I'm
No,
not
the
saying
law is
that,
written
but
to encourage investment, is which they want. So he's investing. So like the law is written to encourage certain things. If you disagree with it, you can go lobby and change. But he's not a bad guy.
I know you mentioned that there are barriers in place that do keep people kind of in impoverished conditions, but I don't think that we all acknowledge like the mental.
Well, that's where I was going. So if I can reflect on myself, I mean, I remember when I was living in poverty, I was just trying to survive. So I didn't even have the brain capacity to try to, or the willpower to kind of even desire to access the rules of the economy. But I mean, I had an epiphany, and I literally woke up one day and I was like, I cannot live the rest of my life like this, and I don't care if people call me lame, square, they're gonna question my blackness. I mean, I don't care. I'm getting out.
Well, speaking about blackness, do you think there's a correlation between people from the African diaspora and people of color and poverty? You don't think there's like a relationship there?
It's true that, you know, I belong to a community that makes less than certain other communities. That's true. Significantly less. But you can't look at differences between groups and say it's only because of systems. Systems played a huge deal to it. I'm not discounting that at all. Like, it's a real big deal, and we're working to change that. But also, I mean, statistically, like, people from my old neighborhood and people, you know, around this in these communities, they spend about 50% more on shoes than people who are not in those neighborhoods. And it's like, man, that...
Well, not only that, Todd, but I think I looked up a recent statistic that said that Asian households, their children tend to study 13 to 15 hours a week, where in a black household, it's like 3 hours a week.
I know you said it's not like a race issue, but when you think about the way that we got here as like African people, it was a race issue. We didn't have a chance to discover America like the other people did. So I feel like how you had mentioned that Asian Americans, they...
No, she's still in the system, chat. She's still in the system. She's still thinking we ain't discover America. How do we tell her, buddy? How do we tell her? How do we exactly tell this lady?
Study more than black households. You don't feel like those
Sriracha in the building.
communities are kind of
How you feeling? How you living,
upbringing
Sriracha?
to be more inclined to care about their finances, as opposed to like African Americans, we would rather look rich than actually be rich. I think that's a part of like our community.
It's a culture. It's a choice.
Well, it's
not a choice.
I don't
To a certain
It's not a choice to look rich instead of actually being rich. Oh yeah, y'all are crazy.
extent.
I think it's a choice.
2021.
I do think it's a choice. I'm not going to say it's not a choice, but I'm saying, do you feel like some people don't have the same choices as other
chilling gang. Seeing this is the economy rigged. Rich versus poor. Trying to get to understanding here.
people's in different
I
communities?
think some people don't have the mental capacity to allocate the energy
you finna go to
learn
sleep?
the rules of the game, quote unquote, because their
Still early.
instincts are kicking in to
Right.
just survive.
I think trauma plays a heavier role than we like to account for. Trauma is the reason why I'm here. I come from a family, a heavily cult Islamic family, and the things that I was doing in my life they didn't agree with. They pretty much sent people to my house to kill me. I was set up
the
multiple
fuck?
times. They hacked my social media pages.
What the fuck? Their ass talking about some shit. They sent people to her house to kill her. Definitely wouldn't. Yeah, the economy is definitely rigged. I'll be pissed.
Is both my iPhones, you know what I mean?
pissed.
So I don't want to just kind of ignore trauma as if it doesn't really matter in terms of what you are capable of doing, because people that are traumatized and people that do deal with a lot of oppression tend to get some of their choices removed.
I can acknowledge that, yes.
My name is Hanifa. I'm an author, and I'm currently homeless, so I don't make any money right now.
wow,
I grew up
Hanifa.
Muslim my entire life, and in Islam, it is permissible to marry your cousin. So my family enforced sexual acts in between cousins. It led to me having to flee my hometown
What
and
the
come all the way to
fuck?
California, which is 2,600 miles away, just so that I could
The hell
avoid
am I
being
listening?
killed.
Oh
I
man.
was worried where my next meal will come from.
That's tough.
Me and my partner right now are applying for EBT.
Sorry for her.
Because we are just like living
W
check to check
3
right now,
months
and
sriracha.
I'm supporting both of us because she just lost her job. We are like literally
W
trying
3
to
months.
get help from the government so that we can know that we have the funds to get groceries. It's so hard, and it feels like it's not as accessible as people make it seem.
Oh, W lady.
To have everything
Y'all ain't hear what she
stripped away
said,
from
but
you,
I heard her.
and to not know where you're gonna sleep. It's just very difficult. You know, I almost feels like a past life of having like everything. You know, I had bags. I had to take my little Michael Kors bags to the pawn shop, take every item of clothing that I had to Plato's Closet so I could buy a one-way ticket for myself and my child. I didn't know what we were gonna eat. I didn't know where we were gonna sleep. And not to be a victim, but it's not my fault why I'm here. You know,
the other one back there.
I speak out against cult behavior.
Literally.
I speak out against pedophilia.
Literally. I don't know. She out here wants some pity. It's crazy.
And publishing my story has
she was
domino
meeting some
effect
rich
that has
people.
led me to not knowing where I'm gonna eat, and I've never had that happen to me before prior to 4 months ago, and that's just really tough.
Thank you for sharing your story. That's really powerful. And yeah, like if you need help, like after this, let's just talk. That pulls on my heartstrings because my mother raised us 3 kids.
W peoples, she lucky she in the right motherfucking circle. I hope everything work out for her after this. Cause maybe if you would have kept your mouth closed, you would have probably still been in there. So hey, I can't even be mad at you. But hey, I damn near wouldn't have cried like that though. I'm not even gonna cap. But hey, teach his own.
Kids by herself, and my father was a wife beater. He was also a child molester. So anyone listening can connect the dots on that. I feel for you.
I almost want to jump out because it was only a short period of time, you know, and just that short period of time when you're busted or whatever, and you're just like whatever. But you guys were like in the real thick of it. You guys were in the trenches. I visited the trenches for like a couple.
You had a
months.
toe.
I had a toe in the trenches.
I can just tell. I see it. I know. We know. Use the snoop. That's what that is. We classify that as snoop.
I visited the trenches for like a couple.
You had a
months.
toe.
I had a toe in the trenches. You know?
So I'm getting paid paycheck to paycheck, and on top of that, I have a crippling gambling addiction. I'm addicted to weed. I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to vaping. And as soon as
ma'am, time out. I hope you ain't blaming nothing on the system right now, cause that could save you a lot of money right there. You said alcohol, vaping, gambling, weed. What else did you say? Cause them 4 things right there, that could save you a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie.
I have that direct deposit, it's like I have no control. Almost like I black out and I start gambling, start ordering drinks, start ordering weed, and then I come out of that no control feeling, and I'm like thinking, how am I gonna feed my pets this week, my cat, my dog? Like I had all these plans up to my payday. Before I know it, all my money's gone, and it's addiction.
Yeah.
When you're in a position where you don't have a lot of money, you can't do a lot of things for fun, and you're often just like working. I have to survive. I have to feed myself. And so when you get that paycheck and you have just a little bit of enough money to do something that will spark joy for you, it's so hard to be like, no, I'll put it aside to save. It's like, I'll just do this one thing for myself. I'll just treat myself. And then it's like.
But like, y'all think that's not happening to the other side as well? Like, if the people who have money get into the same habits, they will no longer have money. Like, that's a habit that you need to fix so that way you can acquire more money. Because if you fall into habits of just spending, you're not gonna motherfucking keep your money.
Like, well, now it's gone.
I completely understand what you're saying, and I used to think like that too, but I also thought about how joyful it would be to be rich. I would rather not have that instant gratification because the gratification of being infinitely stable or more stable is more important. My name is Brittany. I am a holistic health practitioner, and I make around
don't even know
100.
what that is. Holistic practitioner.
$30,000 a year. My relationship with
Holistic practitioner? She the only one that says some crazy shit. I don't even get what that even means still. Holistic healthcare.
with my brother has literally crumbled since I have acquired more money. He only calls me when he needs something. The only person that I really have a relationship is my mom. I haven't spoken to my brother.
She finna cry too? Oh, I'm on the wrong video. This is a sad one.
I want them to be happy and, you know, and successful more than anything, but it almost feels dehumanizing.
Well, here go to the people who think money gonna make you happy. She's on the rich side, and hey, there she go crying about some whole other shit. So to the people who think that, there you go. There's a proven thing right there. She's crying regular tears, just like you.
To be looked at as just the help and not a sister or a cousin or something like that, yeah.
My name is Mia, and I'm currently working as a customer service representative for a moving and storage company. I make $45K a year. My family has always been like, oh, you gotta look presentable, you gotta look nice whenever we're going out to eat or to the mall. But as an adult, you know, a lot of my money isn't going towards buying new clothes or jewelry, makeup, whatever it might be. So you'll catch me in like sweats and a t-shirt, and I just don't feel presentable enough to be at the mall, to be at a restaurant, because of that embarrassing feeling and shame of not investing more in how I present myself.
The disagreeer.
You're just hanging out back there.
You know, I feel like I misunderstood the prompt.
So have you ever worried about where your next meal is gonna come from?
Just once.
Oh, no, I definitely have. Like when I was in college, I was trying to buy groceries.
She's not listening. Yeah. I thought she went to go get the lady some food or something. Her ass just wasn't even there. She dozed off back there or some shit. I don't know.
And the lady behind me ended up paying groceries for me, and it's so embarrassing because my card got maxed out and I had no money in the bank account, basically.
$15 an hour is not enough for minimum wage.
It's definitely not enough. But shit just gonna keep rising every time some shit rise up.
I did have a question for you two. You both mentioned that you suffer from addiction and that as soon as you get a paycheck, it's gone, whether it's gambling or weed or shopping or whatever. If you had a higher income, would that change?
Personally, yes, because the whole reason I gamble is like, let me get that $60,000 win and I'll stop gambling. That's my...
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. I'm pretty sure even if you have $60,000 in the bank, you're going to spend something to say, ooh, well, let me double my $60,000 in the bank. What are you talking about? And then you said 60,000. You said you make what, like 45K a year? So you only want 15,000 more? Hey. Okay.
My mindset, right? And another thing is, I feel like if I were to have like passive income, I guess you can say, or be financially stable, I can pursue and distract myself with my actual passions. Like, I want to start a true crime YouTube channel, but I don't have the laptop, I don't have the camera. The addiction takes control, so I don't think about the things I don't have, and I just feel numb and thoughtless, and I'm just enjoying my TV. And so yeah, I feel like it would change. I would be able to have other distractions that are beneficial to me in a positive way.
If you had more money, you could probably have access to help, like medical help.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, psychiatrist.
Yeah, because that's what's going to help it, sir. Yeah, you're completely right. That's what's going to help it. To go spend more money to tell them how not to spend money. Yeah, that's what's going to help it. You got it, bud. This man knows all the answers. He's a thinker.
Because that's really expensive, and you can't afford it living off of minimum wage, you know?
I feel like a lot of jobs will pay minimum wage, but they will expect maximum effort. And I'm like, if you're gonna pay me minimum wage, I'm putting in the bare minimum effort.
That's all you gotta do. See, that's all you gotta do. My boy Sam over there, he's a thinker. He knows. His addiction part, I don't know about him on that one. Catch me at work, bare minimum Kobe.
Like if I go into a company and they're paying me minimum wage, I do everything that I can to get promoted. Hi, my name is Todd. I am 29 years old.
I do everything I can for my jobs, for mine, and not for them. But hey, I get what he's saying though. If you know, you know. If you don't, that flew over your head. But I get what you saying, my boy Todd.
I am a real estate investor and a YouTuber, and I make about $1.4 million per year. When you grow up the way I did with no money and your mom is struggling and crying herself to sleep every night because you can't pay the bills, that takes a toll on you as a kid and seeing that struggle. I got my first job when I was 12 years old, literally shoveling horse poop for $3 an hour. And I looked at myself when I was 12 years old and I was like, you've got to make $1 million a year by the time you're 30.
My name is Sean. I'm 23 years old. I'm a musician and content creator, and I make minimum wage at a retail job. If I wasn't having to work every day to pay my rent, then I would have more time to make music and connect with people and find venues to perform my music. And if I had the money, I would...
I don't know. I forgot his name. I'm gonna call him Sam. But hey, I don't know. I don't know Sam. Because hey, it's only 24 hours in a day. So I mean, I think you gotta change up the schedule to, you know, get off a little in the daytime so you can still do some shit, get some shit out there, my guy, you know. You can't just be working sun up to sundown. I know you ain't working the full 24. You can sleep when you dead. They know I say that a lot. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Better get to it. 24 hours ain't going up or down. Well, that hoe's been staying 24 hours for the longest.
Be able to market and promote my music so that it could reach a wider audience.
For me, my mindset is working minimum wage is always temporary. It's always been like, okay, we work minimum wage, but we're gonna work harder to get promoted, and then we're gonna do something else with our lives.
Many, many, many years ago, you could go live off the land. You didn't have to work for somebody in order to survive. All the land is taken. It's in federal land. You can't go fishing in these federal streams. You can't do that. So that's not possible at scale. In order to survive, you must work for someone else. That forces wages down, right? People can't just go, F you, I'm not gonna work, I'm gonna chill and work on my novel or do whatever. So that's the part where I agree with you. I'm a supporter of UBI so that people aren't forced to work. And
Universal basic income is a financial transfer concept in which all citizens of a given population regularly receive a legally stipulated and equal financial grant paid by the government. I didn't even know nothing about that, chat. Definitely didn't. Yep, learn something new every day.
Where I disagree is that we don't pay people based on what they need. And you were kind of pointing to this. I give the minimum effort if you pay me minimum wage. But there's certain jobs that are not worth $15 an hour. They're just frankly not worth it. Maybe they're worth $5, maybe they're worth $2. I want you to watch TV for an hour in your house and tell me how many commercials come up, because I'm doing a survey. I want to pay you $7 an hour. You think I should have to pay you $15 an hour for that? Or would you take $7 an hour to sit on your couch and count commercials that show up on the television?
I mean, yeah, I would take any money.
Okay, so everybody here agreed that it should be $15 an hour minimum wage.
Yeah.
But by making the wage $15 an hour, you just eliminated a job that he's willing to do.
More money, more problems.
Definitely.
More money, more problems, but that's a path that I'm willing to take on, because the problems that come along with not having money, I can't imagine going back there. I made it a point to position myself adjacent to people who I felt like I could learn from. I remember parking my little Chevy Cruze up off of Griffith Observatory in Hollywood Hills just to be around money.
Chevy Cruze gets
You guys
took
mind if I
around here.
start?
Can't park no
Yeah,
Chevy
right.
Cruises.
A lot of the problems in my life would be solved with just, not even if I was rich, but just like a little bit more money. I would just have so much less stress and less things to worry about.
Not
and I
if you
wouldn't
spending
be
it on your
finding
addictions,
myself in
bucko.
these situations where I'm worried about how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to get gas to drive? How am I going to eat?
More money, like more social responsibility, right? Going back to
What does that mean?
like if you're a billionaire, then you have social responsibility to take care of people who
The
might
Lakers
have
getting 30 ball. That's tough. See, I knew my nigga Simmons was gonna ball out. Let me see. Oh, wait. Oh, he damn near finna. Oh, hold on. Wrong team, but this nigga damn near finna get it now, Snoop. It's only third quarter, 16. This nigga damn near finna get it. An Ingram Green for me already. Yeah, CJ, you just gotta do me some justice, my boy. Please just do me some justice. Cause my boy Jokic already was green for me. Come on, please, guys.
less than you.
Really? I'm not seeing that. And
Take care of people who might have less than you.
really? I'm not seeing that. In modern day life.
Billionaire beef.
Modern day life, what are billionaires
Yeah,
doing?
Mia.
I want to add real quick to what you were saying that I had my first felony when I was 14 years old. I had gotten a DUI in 2018, so I was still going in and out of courthouses. I'm struggling trying to get a job, applying, getting interviews, getting a job offer, background check, offer rescinded, and that hurts a lot. But I'm over here watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Yolanda Hadid's daughter just so happens to also get a DUI, but she's taking off in her modeling career like it was just a hiccup. I'm also seeing cases of affluenza where this kid driving his dad's truck drunk killed someone, and he gets off for affluenza, which means you're too rich to know what's good or bad, so you don't get any repercussions.
Fuck?
Yeah,
I've never heard of no shit like that.
I agree with my punishment.
Let's look that up real quick. Affluenza. Affluenza meaning is a psychological malady supposedly affecting wealthy people. It is I don't even know what that word is, of affluence and influenza, and it's used most commonly by critics of consumerism. It is not a medically recognized disease. Let's see, the negative psychological or behavioral effects of having or pursuing wealth as irresponsible acts and feeling of self-doubt or guilt. Yeah, I ain't never heard of this thing. But basically, this is people who would do anything for money. It's the people who would motherfucking dishonor themselves for some money. The people who would motherfucking, for instance, Tyler Perry, them people dress up as a girl to get laughs for some money, but he's a straight man. I guess that's affluenza. Never heard of it being used as affluenza, but learn something new again.
I messed up, and I will accept it.
But you want it to be fair treatment.
Exactly, because when I see that, it's just slap in the face. Like, what is the justice system? That's not justice.
Listen, I like the song "More Money, More Problems."
I like it too.
It's jamming,
I love
but it's really more money, different problems.
Yes.
And that's a cut.
Okay.
We did it.
It's true, we learned some true things in there. We learned some other things in there that we probably didn't agree with. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all feeling about it.